know that Jeff Fort, a notorious gang leader, once had an audience with a U.S. president? Now that's something you don't hear every day. Born in the heart of Mississippi in 1947, Fort's journey to leadership began early. His family relocated to Chicago when he was a young boy, and it was here, amidst the city's towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, that his story truly began. Emerging from the shadows of society, Fort co-founded the Black P. Stones, a street gang that would soon command the attention of the Windy City. Under his leadership, the gang grew in numbers, power, and notoriety, their influence seeping into the very fabric of Chicago's urban life. This was no ordinary boy, and certainly no ordinary gang. So a young boy from Mississippi turned into a gang leader in Chicago. But that's just the beginning of Jeff Fort's intriguing story. The Black P. Stones, under Fort's leadership, were more than just a gang. They evolved into a force for change, intertwining their streetwise grit with a surprising dedication to community activism. This wasn't your average street gang. They were movers and shakers, pushing for progress in their own unique way. Their unconventional approach caught the eyes of the government, which led to an unexpected twist in their narrative. In a move that shocked the nation, the Black P. Stones received a $1 million grant from the government. This wasn't for weapons or illicit activities, but instead for the development of cultural and educational programs. They used this funding to create opportunities for their community, to empower the people who, like them, were often overlooked and underserved. Yes, you heard it right, a gang that received government funding. But the story gets even more fascinating. The transition from activism to terrorism is a complex one, and Jeff Fort's life is a testament to this. As a young man, Fort was a charismatic leader, using his influence to fight for social justice. But his path took an unexpected turn when he converted to Islam in prison. Upon his release, he founded El-Rukn, a group named after the cornerstone of the Kaaba, Islam's holiest site. El-Rukn was initially a force for good in Chicago, providing community services and advocating for social justice. But over time, the group became more militant, and the U.S. government eventually classified it as a terrorist organization. This marked a stark shift in Fort's life, from a community activist to a potential terrorist. It's a transformation that still baffles many who knew him. Jeff Fort's story is one of constant transformation, from community activist to potential terrorist. Imagine a gang leader meeting a U.S. president. Sounds improbable, right? But it happened in Jeff Fort's life. In a twist of fate that could only be described as paradoxical, Fort, despite his notorious past, found himself rubbing shoulders with the likes of Richard Nixon. Yes, you heard it right. Nixon, the President of the United States. The year was 1969. The occasion? Nixon's presidential inauguration. Now, how does a man with a rap sheet as long as Fort's get an invite to such a prestigious event? It's a question that has stumped many over the decades, and it's a testament to the enigmatic nature of Fort's life. But there he was, a man who had walked the dark alleys of crime, standing amidst the nation's political elite, witnessing a momentous event in American history. Jeff Fort's attendance at a presidential inauguration is a remarkable event in his life, further complicating his already complex story. Every story has an ending, and Jeff Fort's is no exception. In the twilight of his notorious career, Jeff Fort found himself entangled in a web of conspiracy that would mark the final chapter of his extraordinary life. His leadership, once a beacon for the dispossessed in Chicago, took a sinister turn. It was a path that led him from activism to the precipice of terrorism. In the early 80s, Fort was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit acts of domestic terrorism. The authorities alleged that he had negotiated a $3 million deal with Libya, a deal intended to fund an insurrection on American soil. The evidence against him was damning: wiretapped conversations and eyewitness accounts that painted a chilling picture of his plans. His trial was a media spectacle, a stark contrast to the quiet philanthropy of his earlier years. Convicted on all charges, Fort was sentenced to 80 years in federal prison. His reign, it seemed, was over. But even as he languished behind bars, his influence continued to ripple through the streets of Chicago. He remains a polarizing figure, a symbol of rebellion to some, a cautionary tale to others. His story serves as a stark reminder of the thin line between activism and extremism. Fort's incarceration did not erase his impact on Chicago's history. Instead, it underscored the paradox of his life. A man who championed the cause of the underprivileged, yet conspired to bring violence to the very community he claimed to protect. The legacy of Jeff Fort is not easily defined. It is a tale of ambition, power, and the potential for change. It is a saga etched in the annals of Chicago, a narrative that continues to provoke discussion and debate. From a leader of a street gang to a potential terrorist, Jeff Fort's life is a testament to the complexities of human nature and the power of transformation. His tale is a stark reminder that every action, every decision has consequences, and that even the most promising stories can take an unexpected turn. Jeff Fort's life is filled with paradoxes and surprises. A man who led from the front lines, helming the Black Pea Stones, a group that started with the intention to uplift a community, but eventually found itself on a darker path. A man who, despite his controversial reputation, was invited to the White House, meeting with a U.S. president, an honor few can boast of. Yet this very man later faced the full weight of the law, convicted for plotting acts of terrorism. His life, a tapestry of highs and lows, serves as a stark reminder of how intentions can sometimes be lost amidst the chaos of reality. It shows us that even in the darkest of times, there can be glimmers of hope, and in the brightest of times, shadows can lurk. Jeff Fort's story serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of life, showing us that things aren't always as black and white as they seem.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps out the channel's algorithm. Big salute to all my subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then hit that red subscribe button and subscribe. Peace to all of y'all. La shame to God. Keep low, you never tell, they'll never know. Stay focused.